the Uniloring International Scholarship Forum for organizing this webinar. I'm pretty sure that we have, at the end of the meeting, we have a few things to learn from our scholar. So I think we'll just go straight into the program. I can see we're still waiting for Scholar Bilu Mohammed. Yeah. So I think we'll just start with introduction. Can you introduce yourself, Scholar Kodre?
If you ask me to introduce myself, it looks like bragging. So I would keep it. I'll keep it a little bit. I'll keep it a little bit under. I am. My name is Akiremi Kodri. I graduated 2018 from our alma mater, University of Ilorin. Better by far. By far, we are better. And so I studied food science, Faculty of Agriculture. I don't know if any of you know me, you know who I am, so I don't need to go into details. But I'm just a normal student of the University of Ilorin, graduated with a first class. I was a scholar in school, so not the superficial scholar, but yeah, I was a scholar. You know, everybody that went to our school is a scholar automatically. But yeah, I was a university scholar for 4 years. I think from my 200 level to when I graduated, I started being a scholar. I actually did not start from 100 level, such as a background. So I have my diploma degree from Lagos State Polytechnic, LASPOTECH. So in 2013 was when I finished my national diploma ND. And from then we worked for 1 year and we entered Uniloring. And to God be the glory, we graduated well, put in the best, had a first class. And graduated 2018, and since then we started scholarship application. A lot of scholarship. I have idea about them. So Commonwealth Shared, Commonwealth, Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth, Erasmus, and Mastercard. And yeah, so here we have. So that's just a short-term brief summary without going too much into details, not to bore you with academic jargons. And yeah.
Thank you so much. For those of you that don't know him, he was the best graduate student for 2018. Oh, I saw Aminat Yusuf on the chat. Yeah, so I'm just going to introduce myself as well. So while waiting for Bilu, yeah. So my name is Ifelu Olaliri, and I'm graduated from University of Ilorin, Agricultural Economics and Farm Management, 2019. Yeah, so then graduated with the first class as well. So then did my national youth service at Forest State University. Then after then I got a Mastercard Foundation scholarship at UBC in 2021. So yeah, that's just a brief introduction about me. Yeah, so I think we can just go into the program straight. So, Scholar Code, I want to ask you, what's some benefits of Mastercard Foundation at UBC? So if I'm fortunate to be selected for the scholarship, what are those things the scholarship entail?
Interesting. One thing, I think the grand thing, let's talk about the elephant in the room, is that I know when many of us might not. Some of us have encountered Mastercard, like we know what the scholarship is, but many of us don't really even know the gravity. For me, I would say Mastercard scholarship is actually the best you can have. This is not bragging. It doesn't matter if you're winning Erasmus. It doesn't matter if you're winning Commonwealth Shared or any other scholarship out there. Mastercard is the best, and I can back it up with facts, with stats, and also with facts, with stats, and with what we can feel and what we can see. So Mastercard is life-changing. It's a life-changing scholarship. If you win the scholarship, I'm telling you, your life is turning around 360. It's not even 180 turnaround. And so the scholarship, the benefits, it's enormous, but I will just list some. So as a Mastercard scholar, if any one of us is fortunate to win the scholarship, immediately you win the scholarship, you are entitled to, even if you don't have an international passport, you are entitled to stipend for to make your international passport. So they pay for your international passport, and they pay for any documentation, any receipts, or anything that. For example, I remember even if you make photocopies, as a scholar of Mastercard, why in Nigeria you start getting dollars, you start getting paid. Don't let me use the word dollars. You start getting paid. Even if you make photocopy and you can show the receipt of, okay, I made this photocopy, for example, for this document, you get paid for it. For the immigration purposes, anything you're using, any documents that you want to get, anything that requires financial element to it, they pay for it. And they pay for your flights, they pay for your scholarship, and it's a fully funded scholarship. You're not paying school fees, you're not paying anything, and they also give you stipends. I think things are changing right now, but from what I know, they give you stipends like twice during the scholarship. So when you enter, you get stipends. They give you money for laptop. So they give you money for clothing. Right from Nigeria, they pay you stipends for you to even buy the clothes that you are going to bring along to wherever you're going. They pay you for even your own clothing. And after paying all those things in Nigeria, by the time they arrange and they are in charge of your traveling, like you are not stressed in any way, shape, or form. Whenever you win a Mastercard scholarship, you become a king, so to say. They treat you like a king. And even if you cough, they take responsibility. If you are married, they are responsible for your wife. If you have children, they start bearing responsibility for your wife, for your children. We have Mastercard scholars who came to Canada or wherever they have with their spouse and with their kids. So I'm talking about 2-3 children, and they bear responsibility for this. I don't know if there's any other scholarship out there that doesn't only favor you, but also favor your children, your family. Like, just tell them I'm married, I have a kid, they would pay for everything in terms of their flights and moving them to. Although there are still some intricacies within the immigration issue. I always call RCC as village people, but with Mastercard, you will definitely get it. And by the time you arrive here, even with your family, they give you a very befitting place. So if you have family, for example, you won't stay together with people who are single. They give you another nice apartment that could accommodate you and your family, and they pay for it. They pay for your accommodation throughout the scholarship. So they pay for. I'm sorry, can we mute ourselves, please? So they pay for your accommodation throughout the scholarship, even if you come with your family. They pay for it, and they pay for your feeding. So they pay for your laptop, your clothing, your feeding, and they give you stipend. Your housing covered, your food, feeding allowance covered. The only thing you need to do once you win the scholarship is just to go to class and pass. Just go there and pass your courses. And it's going to be difficult though, but even when you are done with the scholarship. Now, during the scholarship, you get all these benefits. Your health, your health is covered as well. You're going to get the MSP plan, which is for students in UBC. Mastercard covered that. So free healthcare. Even if you go with your family, even your family could get a work permit if they come with you and you are still on a student permit. So they could work and make more money. But even as a student, your health is covered. You have health insurance throughout your stay. And there's a pathway. And this is the key thing that cannot distinguish Mastercard scholarship with other scholarship. There's a pathway to permanent residency. They don't say you finish, they give you options. They won't tell you that you finish the scholarship, you go back to your country. There's nothing like that. This is a fair here, I'm here. There's a pathway, and all the courses that are being done by Mastercard, that are being, most importantly, by UBC, and I believe all other universities that are associated with Mastercard, all the courses that have been funded by the scholarship have been designed in a way that the immigration of those countries, you can use them towards, the path to residency is very, very pure. Like it's just there. So for example, you do MFS. MFS is in BC, is part of the graduate study pathway that you can use your provincial nomination to get it. All you need is just pass, and you can use that part to get your permanent residency, your residency. And you can do this all within 3 years. Myself here, we won the scholarship 2021. Ife also 2021. We finished. This is 2024. We've not even spent 3 years. I think Ife came before me. My flight was on the 15th or on the 16th. And I've not spent 3 years here right now. And I've gotten my permanent residency. Within 3 years, I've gotten my master's degree, I've gotten my permanent residency, I've gotten a managerial position, like my job and the courses and the school, like your career purpose also, they guide you. And even when you are done with the scholarship, and this is where I'm going to end to cut it short because we have a lot to talk about. Even when you are done with the scholarship, you've won. By the time you're finishing, they still give you some money to settle you into the community. So they give you a few amounts of money for your house rent that could sustain you for 1 or 2 months. And even at that, you started working, you started making money. Anything you are doing for the scholarship, for the foundation, for example, your network, or they need a program and you are volunteering to do for them, and you are spending money to do those things, you can also send the receipt back to them and you're going to get paid. For example, the alumni who go to pick the new scholars from the airport, for example, they still send in receipts to Mastercard and they still get paid. You can't imagine after you've left the scholarship for 2 years, but you are doing something, you've left the foundation for 2 years, but you are doing something for them, you can still get paid. In fact, they will still pay you after like 2-3 years.
Thank you, Scholar Quadri. I know you can continue to talk about the Mastercard. Like you said, Mastercard Foundation is a scholarship. It's the best because everything you need, all you need to do is come to Canada, go to class, come back home. Every other thing you need, feeding, medical insurance, flights, laptops, stationaries, tuition fee, and every other thing will be covered by the foundation. Thank you so much for that. So I want us to talk about the aspect of the scholarship application that is challenging, because I'm pretty sure that what most people want to hear today is how do we apply? How do I go about writing my personal statements? How do I submit a competitive scholarship? I want to give us some data that will help us today. So Mastercard style about 12, 13 years ago, they partner with so many universities. If you don't know, Mastercard is not just for UBC alone. In Canada, for example, there is a Mastercard Foundation for University of Toronto, Mastercard Foundation for McGill University, Mastercard Foundation for University of British Columbia. That's in Canada. Then in the UK, there's Mastercard for Cambridge University, Mastercard for Oxford University. There's one for Edinburgh University as well in the UK. Then in the US, there's Mastercard for Arizona University. In France, there's a Mastercard Foundation for another school. Then coming to Africa, in South Africa, there's Mastercard for Cape Town University of Cape Town. There's Mastercard for University of Pretoria. There is a Mastercard for Gulu University. I think that's in another country in Africa as well. So we have a lot of partner institutions with a Mastercard Foundation. So I want to give you, we are here for UBC, University of British Columbia. They started about 12, 13 years ago, and for the partnership, for the first 10 years, they sponsored 171 scholars, including graduate students and undergraduate students. 171 for now. So they renewed their contract last year. So for the next 10 years, second phase of the scholarship for 10 years, they'll be sponsoring 351 scholars. So in our set, we're just 10, and the previous set, there are about 9 or 10 of them, 8, 9, 10 of them. But for the next 10 years, you should be certain that we'll be having around 20. So that means that it increase your chances to being selected. If you're selecting 8 before, now they can select 20, 25. I'm pretty sure that below sets, there are 23 to 24 of them. So this is to encourage every one of you that you have a spot if you can submit a competitive scholarship. So I think we should start with the application process. What's the application process like? Scholar Bilu, I think he's here now. What's the application process all about? Meeting the requirements, and let's start with meeting the requirements for the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. You can unmute yourself. You are muted. Scholar Bello, you are muted.
So to apply for any scholarship, of which Mastercard, the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program is not very much different from, the first thing you need to do is to look through the application requirements. And for Mastercard Foundation Scholarship, the application requirements, I think in the first essay, they made mention of the key selection criteria. You have to tailor you have to write an essay that actually aligns with the key selection criteria. So the first thing you need to consider is to check the key selection criteria of Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. And the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship, one of the key requirements, your academic excellence is not the only requirement here. There are also other application requirements because the review process is actually holistic. They don't get to consider only the your academic excellence. They get to consider your leadership potential or your leadership skills. They also get to consider your commitment to, of giving back to your community. That's a measure of social impact, and I believe that is one of the major criteria because the major purpose of Mastercard Foundation Scholarship is to build a community of young transformative leaders. So you have to make sure that you have been giving back to your community, you have been involved in community service, and if you've not been doing that, try to start doing something because that aspect of the application process is actually very important. And also, aside academic excellence and commitment to giving back to your community, which is community service, they also get to consider your leadership potential. And then work experience and all that. Then I've been receiving a lot of questions regarding class of degree, which is first class, second class, and third class. Many people have been asking me whether or not people with lower class of degree, like second class upper, can apply. Well, from my own perspective, if you have a minimum of 4.0, I believe you can actually apply for the scholarship. I believe you have a spot for the scholarship. But so far, I don't want to discourage anyone. So far, from what I've been seeing, especially in my cohorts, everyone in my cohorts are actually first class graduates. Yeah. And I believe the same thing is also applicable for Scholar Ife and Scholar Quadri's sets. And that is not actually to discourage anyone. This is to tell you that if you actually graduate with a lower class of degree, probably second class lower, it means second class upper. It means you need to be more than you are. It means you have to apply as much, twice as much effort than any other applicants. It doesn't mean that you can't get the scholarship. Of course, you have your spots because for schools like McGill, I think they actually admit people with second class upper. And if the person has, I think, people with second class upper. And I think same thing is actually applicable to Mastercard, UBC Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. And I think the reason why they are doing this is probably because they want to admit people that can actually cope with the rigor of the academics around you. Yeah, because even we that actually graduated in first class, we are still struggling to blend in with the academic stuff. So the reason why they are doing that is to kind of, admit people that they believe can actually cope with the academic rigor. So if you actually have 4.0, I believe you have a spot. But what you just need to do is position yourself to be a perfect candidate for the scholarship. It means you have to be more. It means you have to engage yourself in community services. You have to have a lot of community involvement. You also have to, have probably spearheaded a lot of projects that to demonstrate your leadership potential. And I think that's just all you need to do. Yeah, you need to be more.
Sorry, to complement what Scholar Billy just said. Thank you, Scholar Billy, for that. During my set, we have someone like one or two people with 2-1, and I would just want to stress that, like he said, if you have 4.0 above, there's a spot for you. So don't think all they take is first class. Although I have to agree with him, 90 to 95% of the scholars are first class students. But even with your 2-1, you can get in. And there are some people that, for example, a 5 years course, year 1, year 2, they have issues and their GP was low. But from 300 level to probably 500 level, or from 200 level to 400 level, they have very, very, very good they have very, very, very good results. You can highlight that, and you can even subject that into your personal statement to show them that probably due to some issues, due to some significant barriers that you have, was what actually dragged your academic performance down in your year one or year two. And they could see that trend also in your transcript, because your transcript will show, for example, year one, year two, you're down. But for year three, let's say you're just flying high. That kind of show, and you can even tie that down to your scholarship to even make it. So like you said, depending on how, and also how well you can prove your point to show that although I graduated with 4.0 or 4.1, if you check to my latter stage of my transcript, you will see that I was getting 4.7, 4.8. But the reason why I graduated with this was my upcoming, and it was due to this barrier. And this will also actually eat into some of the scholarship questions. And you can tie everything together, the scholarship questions, your transcripts, and even the barriers that you faced to prove to them that you are eligible. And he was spot on when he said the reason why they are actually looking at those first-class students is because of their academic rigor. Because trust me, it's not easy. Scholar Fair, we will still tell you more about this. I believe we're still going to get there. So yeah, I just want to compliment what he said. So, but with the 2-1, just position yourself well, add some other leadership roles, add some other skills, some other certifications that you've acquired, could also even buttress where you are and who you are right now. So it depends on how you can, and you can even have those things, or even if you have them, but you can't prove. You have to prove. You can have the certifications, you can have everything, but you can't show them in writing and prove that I have this, I've been able to do this. So ability to actually write, have a very good writing skills, and to position yourself well, to show workings of what you have, is that actually goes a long way as well to convince the people in charge to see, oh, this candidate can actually do a good job. So yeah, that is just the little I want to add to Scholar Bello. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scholar Kodri and Scholar Mohammed. Yes, that's very right. You know, there is a difference between having scholarship. Mastercard Foundation scholarship would not review your document if you don't meet the admission criteria of UBC. And if you go to UBC, you see admission criteria for example, Nigerians, you see that they require 2-1, that is 4 points over 5-point grade. So you have to be very certain that you meet the admission criteria of the university before you apply to Mastercard Foundation itself. Yeah, so I love working with data and all that. That's the reason why I give you data of how many people they've sponsored in the last 10 years and how many people they'll be sponsoring from 2024 to 2034, which is over 300 people. And another thing I realized about Mastercard Foundation is things are changing. For example, previously when you submit your application and you're selected, that's all. But in 2020 or 2019, they started doing interview. So when you're selected, they invite you for interview because of the competition and all that. Now, previously, we've been using form formats. They will send a form to you. You fill the form. You match all your documents, your personal statements, your transcript, reference letter, certificate, and all that. You match them into a single file. Then you send to Mastercard for submission. But now, this year for 2025, they've started using a survey format. So it's now, everything is now online. So you have to fill your information and then type everything you need online and submit. So I'm pretty sure that our scholars have been able to see that even the essay, the personal statements they require from you to submit are not different. So I want to ask you, Scholar Kodri, I think we should start from you, because when we go to a webinar like this, we want to hit the targets. Important things to submit a strong application. Let's start with the personal statement. The first personal statement here, I want to read. So they said that reflect on your life so far. Tell us how you met the key selection criteria for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. Please include any barrier you have faced in your education and early career. How do we address this particular question, Scholar Quadri?
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Scholar, for that question. And they said that the devil is in the detail, and it's basically you being able to interpret the questions. It's more or less boiled down to what I was saying earlier. It's not rocket science. So from what he said, you have to write a personal statement, and you have to look into your life and also describe any barrier that you've actually faced or that you faced with education. And trust me, all of us here, including myself, including Ife, including Scholar Bello, and including everyone that we have here, all of us have a story. We all have faced one difficulty or the other. I'm just on the application portal right now. So we've all have faced one difficulty or the other. So we have stories in our education. So to write this personal statement, I would say you have to have some elements in place. Number one, you have to know which story you want to tell. What are the barriers that you face? So you have to look at the key point there. The key point is how you are qualified to win the scholarship. Then any barriers that you face towards the education. So they want you to stress on your barriers to education. They want you to talk about yourself in a way. It's more or less like an interview question, but in a written form. It's just like you go for an interview and tell me about yourself. So they want you to tell them about yourself and what qualifies you, the qualities that you have that kind of qualify you to want to be for them to consider you as someone that could be a Mastercard scholar. So what are the things that comes with you, the personality? What are things you've done, and what are the things that make you up? So you just have to express yourself in a way. People do a mistake. People make lots of mistakes. So I would just make, probably you could jot some things down. People make mistakes when writing their personal statement, and they just go into the sober story. What they just write is, when I was born, my mom and my dad were dead, and I started begging on the streets, and that is the only thing they base on. They just base all their personal statements on sober stories to show that they actually need the scholarship, and they know. That is why they are giving us Africans. They know we are developing nations. They know we have issues. And that is why they are mostly big on leadership, on people giving back. So they know these things. So you showing it and you putting the scope on only your poverty, nothing else. Some people have seen personal statement that has to do with everything about their family. It's about their family. How the dad lived the mom, how the mom married the second husband and they divorced, how they had 10 children, and they had 10 children, and he was the last born, and how they suffered, how it's like, okay, this is your story. We understand. We understand the difficulties, but that is not the best way to go about answering this question. What I would say is to answer your personal statement. I'm going to, without boring you, I'm going to just give you some of the hints that I think you should add to your personal statement. Your personal statement should be in layers, and these also have to be the theme. So you have to design a theme to write your essay. And I would advise that you'd have a theme that is consistent throughout your writing. So if you want to write in a way that you want to show your academic, your family, your contributions, and your issues, or your how will I put it, the barriers that you face, you want to put all those things. So you have to have a step. You have to have a writing. How will I put it? It's more or less part of writing skills, but you have to know which segments, which pockets you need to put all those things. So your personal statement, it's about you. It's about your academic. It's about what your what you are as a person, and you have to write all these things with data and statistics, like the Scholar Ife we say. Okay, so growing up, my this, my that, I did that. One statement is growing up, I was this, I was that. Then after that, I was the best something. You could start with the hook. You could even start with something that is general with the hook, but make sure you personalize it. I always ensure that when you're writing your personal statement, it's called personal statement for a reason. Personal. So personalize it. And they want to see, and when you are writing these essays, there's a style to it. It is called the star approach. So the situation, the task, the action, the result, and the relevancy. The how could be double, it could be one, depending on the writing style you're using. So the situation, the task, the action. So you should have this at the back of your mind, anything you're writing, that you're following the star approach. You want to describe a situation, don't just describe problem, without talking about solutions. So for example, your barrier to education. If you hear the word barrier, what comes to mind is, they asked me to narrate how my village people have come for me for a very long time. So you just want to talk about problems. It's good, you have a problem, but that is just one of 5 elements. So your problem is just the situation you find yourself in. What are the things you did? Those are the tasks. What are the things that your situation forced you to do? And what are the actions that you actually did? Your situation might warrant you doing A, B, and C, but the one that you actually did was A and B. So that is different between task and action. So what are the actions? What are the things that you've done? For example, to ameliorate the situation that you find yourself, your barrier to education. So for example, as I was saying, when we're talking about the transcripts, and I will just give an example so that I would not talk abstractly. So we're talking about you graduating with a 4.0, but your year 1 and year 2, for we 5 years course people, your year 1 and year 2, for example, I know they don't count your year 1, but your year 2 was so down because of some issues that you have in your family, or because of money issues or financial issues, or because of some mental or health issues, for example, that actually downed your GP, or that actually affects your academic barrier. And Mastercard is also quite big on health challenged people. Let's say you're going with an health crisis, or you're an albino, for example. We've seen an albino win the scholarship. Someone who is affin, so someone who is health challenged. So it doesn't matter, it's just how you can write it. So you have that, and you can demonstrate. So you have this issue, but because you have this issue with your financial, with your family, or with health, how were you able to overcome it? What did you do? Okay, you did the exams and you find out that you have 3 carryovers, for example. So that was the situation. Your problem at home, your health problems, your financial problems, or your family problem. It could be your dad died, your mom died, and they sent you out, no place to live. I liked that in a way to show the situation. Then, what are your options? The option is, do I drop out of school? Do I still continue to school while I keep doing laborer work, or while I do things to get money? Those are the tasks. Okay, what did you do? The action. Okay, I decided that because of my love for education, I have to further my education. I have to go back to school because I believe education is the only pathway to. So give a quote, give a hint, give a hook during this, and give timeline, give statistics, give data. You could support that data by telling them that the out of school children in Nigeria is about this. So you are fortunate, or you're unfortunate, one of those out of school children at age 4, but you were able to overcome this by doing that. So what did you do? You went back to school, you started working hand in hand, you started working so many jobs just to accommodate. And because of the job that you were doing in your year 2, boom, your CGPA dropped because you couldn't have time. So in your year 3, what you did was like, you reduced the amount of jobs you were doing, and you increased more time for studying. You started going into mental health, or you started seeing a specialist or a therapist, or you started moving with new people. It could be friends that have initiated you, or that have changed your thinking. You dropped those friends and you started moving towards ideologically aligned more people. And you started going to more classes or something. And by that time, you see improvements in your grade, and you started making 4.80. Until you graduated as top 1% of your class. So what I've just done is I've created a situation. I've created the tasks, and what are the actions that you did? And what is the result? The result is you graduated top class. And what is the relevant? And because you graduated top of your class, you were able to secure a job, or you were able to be the graduate assistant for your professor for 2 years, in which role you are still exhibiting. So that is the relevant of those results. And because of the things you've done, your professor took interest in you and was able to get you into this. So that is just how the STAR approach works.
Thank you.
So,
thank you so much. In fact, that is just okay. Thank you so much. That is just it. It is a personal statement for a reason. They want you to tell you. They want you to explain yourself, describe you. Who are you? what's your experience like? And thank you so much to Lakodi for mentioning those barriers that you can actually talk about. In fact, they mentioned barriers such as finances. I'm pretty sure, like every one of us here, we have financial problem. That's the truth. That is why they are coming to Africa, because you can imagine how my tuition fee was $50,000 tuition fee alone for a year, excluding flight, excluding every other stipend and all that. Just tuition fee is $50,000. Now, tell me, how many of us can afford that? So that's very certain we have financial issue. Apart from financial issue, if you don't want to talk about financial issue, you can also talk about talking about social issue. Scholar Kodri mentioned albinoism, right? There's a particular scholar that because of his skin color, you know how people can bully you around because of your skin color. You can talk about that. You can also talk about social issue, like maybe in your family, it's just one person that is sent to school, but you are the second born, you are the third born, and you really want to go to school. What did you do? So situation, the tax, the approach, the results. So those are things you need to include. What did you do? What action did you take to, or did you adopt to do something very good for yourself? Those are the stories they want to hear. Thank you so much. Scholar Bello, I want you to talk about leadership. I know when you started talking about Mastercard being keen on leadership, keen on giving back and all that. So there's a particular there's an essay they said that we believe that transformative leaders are those who are committed to building their communities, not just individual talent alone. Describe a recent meaningful involvement in your community, including what your role is or has been in the activities. If you were selected for Mastercard Foundation Scholar Program, what qualities would you bring to your community? I know this question is really is full. So how do we approach this, please?
Well, just like I earlier mentioned, I stated the fact that one of the mission and vision of Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program is to actually build a community of transformative leaders that can drive a positive change in Africa. So they have to see evidence of you being a leader, or they have to see that potential in you before they can actually award you this scholarship. So you need to demonstrate to them that you have this leadership potential. So now, regarding this, majority of people might not have been involved in probably community service or probably any leadership role, but that is not actually a problem. You can actually start doing that from now. And I believe we have quite a number of students here that just graduated or are about to start their NYC, or those that are currently still engaged in their National Youth Service Program. So you can actually use that as an avenue to actually start doing something. And there's this mandatory 1 year, what do they even call it? CDS, Community Development Service. You can actually use that to build your community service, your community involvement, and also to build your leadership potential, like leadership, to demonstrate your leadership skills. Because, for example, we have different community service stuff. Like we have agro-allied, we have that which is related to health, that is related to agriculture, and so on and so forth. So you can actually use that as an avenue to start engaging in such activities. And you for the leadership part, you don't actually have to probably be a leader of one big organization or something like that. It can actually be something very small, probably an outreach program, and you can actually take charge. Yeah, you can take charge of probably an activity or probably an outreach program. You can also use that to demonstrate your leadership potential. And one thing about Mastercard Foundation Scholar is that they are not interested in you stating something very bogus, like something very big. It can actually be you impacting probably the lives of 2 people or it can actually be you taking charge in probably one small activity. It doesn't have to be something big, because by the time you start stating something big, it can actually arouse questions. Yeah, it can actually arouse questions, because they will feel like the people reviewing your essays are actually experts. They've been doing this for so long. So if you start giving numbers, yeah, because one thing about Mastercard Foundation Scholarship is that you have to be specific. You have to give numbers, just like Scholars Quadri has said. You have to give numbers. You have to ascribe numbers to some things. You have to be specific, give data and all that. So by the time you start giving things that are not actually realizable, that cannot actually be actualized, it starts raising questions. They will start to like question your application. And one thing about Mastercard Foundation, the essays, is that your essays have to be consistent and you have to be specific. So regarding that leadership part, you don't have to like, you just have to probably, it can actually be something very small. Probably, let's say for instance, we are actually involved in an outreach program to probably like lecture farmers or train farmers on probably the use of a particular maybe to actually you went on an outreach to train farmers on how to like use a modern facility. Yeah, you can actually explain to Mastercard as, okay, maybe you were the team lead, or you actually took charge of, or you were the lead instructor. Yeah, you were the lead instructor of that outreach program. That is actually you taking charge. You taking charge of the activity, and that is actually leadership role. It doesn't have to probably you being a community. You don't have to be a community manager to demonstrate that, okay, you have this leadership potential in you. It can actually be an activity and you taking charge of a specific activity inside an activity. I don't know if you guys are getting me. So that is just one thing about the leadership part. Then for the community service, many people say that, okay, they don't have what to use to demonstrate their community service and all that. The NYSC program is actually an avenue for you to do something like that. And yeah, you don't have to do something very big. You don't have to do something very big to show all these things. And one thing about this like international scholarship application is you packaging yourself. You have to learn how to package yourself. It might be something small, but you have to know how to sell yourself. That's just it. So it's just like marketing, and everything is about branding. You have to know how to brand yourself, how to package yourself, and how to tell your story. So that's just one thing about all these things: leadership, community service, and all that. We know that, okay, in NYSC, it might not actually involve, for example, NYSC. I'm making use of NYSC because I believe that before most of us after concluding our bachelor's program, many of us have to like start the NYSC National Youth Service Program. Because yeah, I'm actually using that as an example because we are actually going to pass through that phase. So you can actually use that as an avenue to do something. If you've not been doing something, you don't need to panic. You can use that as an avenue to do something. And if you've actually completed your NYSC program and you've not actually still done something, you can actually look around to check for activities that you can engage in. And like I said, it doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be something big. So that's just for a fact. So I think that's just all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Scholar Quadri, maybe you want to add one or two
things? Definitely. Let me just, sorry for complimenting Scholar Bello. You know, we are OG. We reviewed a lot of applications, so we have lots of examples. Please don't use that and be senior prefect in my secondary school. In my junior secondary school, I lead the debate and I lead quiz. Please, I've seen lots of examples. Those are the don'ts. It has been said that just look at the question. Look, Mastercard is very easy if you can read. We believe that transformative leaders are those who are committed to building their communities, not just individual talent alone. So keyword: communities, building, people, be part of an organization, be part of a community. It could be your mosque community. It could be your church community. Most of us are reverend fathers and reverend sisters in our own right. Most of us are fathers in our own right. It could be your university community, your class community. Describe a recent keyword, recent. They didn't say you should describe anything, not secondary school, not primary school. Describe a recent. The word meaningful again. Not just that I'm the one that took all my secondary school mates to win the quiz competition for the state. Recent, meaningful involvement in your community, including what your role is. You shouldn't, it's not like Scholar Bello said, it's not possible. You can't tell them you are poor, and at the same time, you are telling them you have an NGO that is doing something, or you are sponsoring an NGO. How can you be poor, and also be sponsoring an NGO? The two statements does not align. So, including what your role is, you could be part of an NGO, part of an organization. What is your role in that place? What are the activities? What did you spearhead? What did you do? Now, and that's another keyword, your role. The question now goes, if you were selected for Mastercard scholarship program, what qualities would you bring to our community? The details, the details is in the devil is in the detail. So it's talking about what you've done, a recent meaningful thing that you've done, your role in that. And when you are now selected, what would you now bring to our community? People forget that part. You just write about, I was this. So to buttress what he said, I would advise that you start from your university, minimum, your university, your NYSC. University community is a community. There are strata, there are different strata in the university. For example, I was part of the quiz club. That is the quiz community. I was the president of the quiz. I used that in my essay. I'm just giving you an example. This is what I did. I used my quiz association. I was also part of the departmental team for football. That is just a community something. Now, most importantly, like Scholar Bello said, focus on your NYSC. I finished work with my NYSC stuff. I was part of AgroAllied, training farmers on how to. I served at Ebonyi State. It's a rice producing state, and they are using some archaic method for their processing. You know, the parboiling for you to get the what is it called now, the paddy. So I did the method they were using, the temperature time control for parboiling, the drying method. This is just food science. So I was able to train them. Okay, why not use this? I changed the temperature and time to be more efficient. Train more people in trying. So these are the things. Just involve yourself. Your NYSC is important. And like you said, ability to sell yourself. And don't forget the STAR approach. Anything you are writing, the situation, the task, the action, the result, the relevancy. And when you are now done describing, please, our advice, for this part of the essay, don't use more than, you are using, I will advise probably 3 paragraphs, 3 to 4. It's just 200 to 300 words, 3 to 4 paragraphs. And each paragraph, you're writing one paragraph, make it a concept. You're writing about your NYSC, what you did, and the STAR approach, you write about that. Probably after your NYSC, you're a graduate. For me, I used when I was in NYSC, when I was in school, I graduated with lots of awards and lots of accolades. So it was easy for me to encode that to my leadership skills when I was in school in that community. Then my NYSC was another paragraph. Then when I left school, I was part of an NGO in the community, and it's about my community, my Ikorodu community, working with farmers and working with people. It would even be you going there to speak in the community and to raise awareness about female child education, like things a little bit. So then again, what role? Now, this is where I want to end Scholar FS. Sorry for taking your time. If you were selected for Mastercard Foundation Scholar Program, what qualities would you bring to our community? So you should be able to tell them what you've done. And if you should end with, in sum, if selected for this scholarship, I would be bringing this. Like, for example, we are minority. You'll be contributing, for example, to the Black community and make your research about Mastercard. You have Black community students, or you would engage in the food bank by volunteering for this bit, or you would want to be, I would like to be part of this community. You can just make your research, look at the community that you think you like in UBC. I would want to be part of this community to further improve or to further serve their objective, which involves contributing or providing food to the vulnerables and kinikon. I like that. So that is what you are bringing to them. So you have this, you've done this before, and you are now bringing that to be part of that community. Is it Black community? Is it the food bank community? We did that, if I remember. We volunteered for food bank.
Yes.
Is it the food bank community? Is it so? You will be part of that community, and you will be part of it to also help people. And you can state the objective of that community. You can summarize that. All these things is typing in just one sentence. You finished work.
Thank you so much. And that's just it. Meaningful impact, leadership, volunteering. There's a question they said that, does the volunteering experience have to align with the course we are applying for? Let me answer that question. You see, if you have to go to UBC website, Mastercard Foundation website, and read, because I realized that Mastercard Foundation at UBC dropped some courses. Initially, they sponsored Master of Public Health, Master of Business Administration, Masters of Educational Leadership. They remove all that now. They have a team. They are focused now, and their focus now is agriculture, food, forestry, land and water management, and data science. So if you have a volunteering that align with the course, good for you. For example, look at the example they cited, and Scholar Quadri and Scholar Mohammed. You organize a seminar for small scale farmers to do this, to use this particular equipment. That's aligned with their program, because Scholar Mohammed is doing Masters of Food and Resource Economics, Scholar Quadri did Masters of Food Science. Good. But if you don't have volunteering that align with the program you're applying to, sell yourself. They repeated that you should learn to sell yourself. This is an avenue to sell yourself. So that's it about leadership. So if you have your question, please, you can send that to the chat. I will just ask. I think I have 2-3 more questions here. I know this essay is actually a very new one. They said the Mastercard Foundation scholarship at UBC aim to make a meaningful impact in forestry, agriculture, water and land management, and data science as key enablers of sustainable entrepreneurship and community-led development. Can you share an example of activities you have been involved that have in this any area mentioned above? So if like I said, there's a team. The Mastercard at UBC has a team. Like if you go to University of Toronto, for example, Mastercard of Toronto, they specialize on medicine, anything related to medical sciences and all of that. But here they want to specialize on food, forestry, this and that. So they said, can you share an example of activities you have involved in that in any of these areas? Scholar Quadri has talked about the STAR approach. You have to be able to have a situation, task, approach, and result and relevancy. So I just want Scholar Mohammed to say maybe 1 or 2 things about this, and then we can just get questions from other people in the house.
Yeah. So I think SA1 and SA2 and SA3 are kind of closely related. Yeah, SA2 and SA3 are kind of closely related. So one thing is that for SA3, you might have to repeat what you've written on SA2. That is, if what you've written in SA2 aligns with probably the theme of Mastercard Foundation scholarship at UBC. Because I think, for Mastercard Foundation scholarship at UBC, I think they are more focused on presently more on sustainable agriculture and data science. Because land and water system is still focused on sustainable agriculture. It's still under sustainable agriculture. Then international forestry, sustainable forest management, everything is still around sustainable agriculture. Then we have the data science. Now, so for this part, you might not really have enough to say in SA2, but coming to SA3, they are now giving you the floor to say as much as you want to say, to give examples, practical examples, things that you've actually done. So it might actually be you, for example, let's say for data science, it might actually be you going to maybe involving yourself in an outreach program to probably high school to train them on how to code or on how to use computers, because we believe that we know that most students in probably primary school and high school, they don't really have exposure to how to operate computer and all that. So it can actually be you and they're probably participating in an outreach to go to like expose these school children on how to like operate computers and all that. And just like we earlier mentioned, if it is in the aspect of sustainable agriculture, it means you, for example, it might be you engaging in an outreach program to probably go to rural farmers to train the small scale farmers on how to use maybe modern farming practices, how to train them on, probably to enlighten them on hybrid seeds, improved seeds, and to enlighten them on how to like improve their farming, like to improve their farming practice so that they can actually optimize their yield. So those are the things you need to do. So you need to like give practical examples there. You need to give practical example here. For instance, for my own essay, for us in particular, we didn't actually have this part. We only had essay 2. And for me, in my essay 2, what I did was that during my undergraduate studies, I was actually actively involved in students community. And I co-founded a students community where it's actually an e-classroom community. So we do that to actually help students that are not too academically sound, like academically competent. So, and one thing about Mastercard Foundation Scholarship is that you need to give measurable impact. As you are stating your activities, you need to give impact. That was why I said you need to be specific. You need to link your activities with your impact. You need to give measurable impact. Maybe by engaging in this, you were able to like, okay, probably, let me give an instance. For instance, in my essay, I made mention of me being a youth ambassador for a social enterprise. And the social enterprise is actually, the central focus of the social enterprise is to actually promote youth involvement in agriculture. So, and for me, I was able to like help probably like 5 youths to gain business grants to like grow their small farm business. So that's actually a measurable impact. I help students in the students community to gain young farmers to actually get grants to actually get grants. So how many people am I helping to get grants? You need to give measurable impact, and you have to be specific. So I helped 5 students. You don't just say that's okay. You helped some students. You have to give numbers. You have to ascribe numbers to these things. And what is actually the impact of the activities that you actually engage in? So those are things they actually need to look out for. And also be very cautious with giving numbers. Like I said, the reviewers are actually experts. They are people that have been involved they know when you're lying. Yeah, they know when you're lying. So if you are giving a value or an impact that is not actually consistent with what you've done, and most of these things, they have timelines. They look at the timeline of what you've done, and they look at the timeline. They look at the activity and they connect it to the impact. So that is why you need to like state. You have to like give specifics to all these things so that they can know that okay, what you actually done is actualizable, is actually achievable. So that is that about that.
Thank you so much. I have one last question that I want Scholar Cody to talk about, just a minute or two, then we'll take a few questions we have in the chat, and that will be all. So the last question here is very important as well, when talking about your medium-term goal, your long-term goal. So there's this essay that talked about, it said, we aim to award scholarship within the Mastercard Foundation to individuals who will benefit the most from the opportunity. How would being a Mastercard Foundation scholar at UBC support your development personally and professionally? I wanted to say, Scholar Mohammed, thank you so much for that. That answers it. So, Scholar Kodri, can you talk about this?
This is actually an interesting fact. It's actually a very, very, very good question. So this is basically you telling them your career goal. And again, read the question very well. Scholar Mohammed says something, and I can't overemphasize it. Give names, give numbers, give dates, give timelines. If you are quoting anything, give where you are quoting from. Don't just say according to WHO in their food security something publication in 2023. Like, give timeline. Everything if you are quoting a statistic, don't just say everybody in Nigeria is poor. Or don't just say, no, so just to say something about that. Everything you are doing, name, time, numbers, give data. Always put something, put data. If it is 2 people you are impacted, put 2. It doesn't have to be 1 million. If it is just 10 people, put the numbers and give the timeline. The impact is important. So question, we aim to award scholarship within Mastercard. I would do Mastercard scholarship for scholar. Now, support your developmental personally and professionally. You've talked a lot about your essay. You've written a lot, and this is where your consistency, because they are very, very smart, like you said. This is where your consistency comes in. You've been saying a lot of things using the STAR approach. Your situation, your task, the result, where you are, what you've done, where you are right now. Probably you're a graduate assistant. So everything that you've been talking about, I've included something about your personal growth, your personal development, and most importantly, your professional growth as well. So probably you move from a diploma, you move to a university grad, you now have a university degree. So you have a BSc. So it actually shows projection of your personal growth, probably your mental fortitude. What they want to see here is they want to see what you've become and where you want to become. So this is about you talking about your future in terms of what you want to do. And this is where you would break it down. Your short-term goal, your long-term goal, and your mid-term goal or your long-term goal. Some people, in the case, you do just short-term and long-term. While some people do it short-term, 5 years, within 5 years, and long-term. So it depends on how you want to structure your essay or what you want to break it down. Now, what you can achieve in a short while, you can't tell them that by the time I win this scholarship, I'll become the Minister of Agriculture.
That same example came to mind now.
I'll become the Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria, where I will help 1 million farmers and drive the agricultural economy and will become food secure instantaneously. That is not workable. That is not everybody can become minister. That is political. Even Adeshina, even the people that are really, really good, some of them are still, they even get into the office and they get overwhelmed with the politicking and the politics that is attached to it. So you have to set your goal. So probably in the short while, so you need to speak. And again, don't forget everything we discussed. Numbers, timelines, STAR approach. So you need to discuss. Knowing this, you need to have a vision. What do you want to do? Okay. Now, Mastercard will support me professionally, for example, or professionally or personally. I would, with my mental fortitude and being among students from diverse backgrounds, I will be open to work with students or work with professors from different backgrounds and different something, which is different from what I'm used to in my home country. So you are talking about diversity, for example, how you are going to meet people from Asians, from Indians, and you can develop your personal relationship skills. You can develop connections with people from other networking, with people from other climes. So that is kind of a personal growth, because what you are used to is just Nigerians and Black. Now by the time you win this scholarship, you'll be able to collaborate. The word collaborate is important. Note it down. Please write it down. Collaborate with different people from different climes, different professionals, where you can share ideas and share culture, share norms. Talk about how the culture in UBC, the weather, the climate, how it's going to affect you personally, your adaptation, the culture, the food, the what have you. So being in the university community is going to develop your personal orientation or personal belief about life, and there to be interpersonal skills and interrelationship with people. That is personally. Now, professionally, we talk about in the short while, you can work with professors. The professors who are in the short while, I would networking or working with these professors and talking about what they are working on in their graduate group. You can volunteer to be part of the graduate groups for that, part of the graduate students. You can volunteer to be a teaching assistant for that professor, so you learn from them. So working with these professors in the short while will improve you professionally, and we add more bites to your professional life. You have more ideas about papers, about writing papers. Then also you will definitely get a master's degree. So winning this scholarship will give you a step, or will profile you to having a master's degree. That is in a short while. That can be achieved in 1 or 2 years. You can collaborate in 1 or 2 years. You can network. You can attend that. Then the next 5 years, after achieving my master's degree, then you can talk about what do you want to do. Is it that you want to project immediately to your PhD? Then in the next 5 years, my plan is to lever or use this medium to be able, with my collaborations and my interpersonal skills, to be able to leverage that, or leverage the Mastercard scholarship and leverage my master's degree at UBC to get into the Ivy League schools for my PhD, or to move my education onto my PhD, or to go into the industry, food industry, and work my way up into the managerial level where I can learn more skills or something, professionally within 5 years. And in the long time, I wish to work with the United Nations, or I wish to come back to my home country. You can even put coming down to your home country, which is nice. I need to come back. I would like, in fact, it's nice you tell them you want to come back to your own country for immigration purpose, but we all know we are not coming back. Nobody will enter Canada. But yeah, it's just, so you come back to your home country in the long term and take a position with the Ministry of Agriculture. I put that in my essay. To take a position with the ministry. Don't tell them you want to be a minister. Take a position with the Ministry of Agriculture. A substantial, a consultant. You would have gotten your PhD, you would have gotten there. So you can be a consultant, or you want to take a position with the minister, or be a consultant to the Ministry of Agriculture in order to be a solution to sort of the fundamental problems that we have in our society. And that's food security issues, food preservation issues, data for food consumptions, and all of the policies. It could also be policies, strategically working policies, or I could be involved in NAFDAC, for example, FAO, all these organizations that has to do with regulations. It could be regulations of our policies, of our ideals and all. So this is just a breakdown. And you do all these things using the STAR approach, giving numbers, giving facts, results, relevancy, all these things. That is how you write them. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm coming back to you. So one advice I will give to you when you're writing your long-term and short-term goals is go to the program website. I'm still going back to Scholar Code. Go to your program website. What are the pillars? What are the functions of your program? For example, Masters of Food and Resource Economics, I know everything about the program. We have 4 core pillars. We have policy, we have business, we have economics, we have environment. So we have these 4 pillars. We have a lot of problems in Africa, in Nigeria, that I can actually develop something out of those pillars. So familiar yourself with the program you're applying to, the alumni of those programs. What are they currently doing? What are those course modules, the course contents of the program? You can develop something. Don't like you said, don't say I want to become a minister. That's not feasible. I want to become an ambassador. That can be in the long term, but in the short term, Mastercard is very keen at looking at what you have, rational things that you want to do for the community, for your country, for your home country or continent in a short time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So please make sure your document, your application is very consistent. It's very, very consistent here. I'm so happy that we've touched 4 of the essays, and so we go straight to the questions here. We have a lot of them. So please, I want us to just answer them briefly, maybe 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, Scholar Kodu, you take the first one. I will go to Scholar Mohammed after that. So they said there is a last essay about any other thing you would like to tell them. What do you recommend to talk about here? Just 1 minute.
That is the best. That is the best of the essay. That is where you pour. In fact, that is where you narrate your sober story. That essay, I don't think have they put words right now. Oh, they put words. Oh, 200 to 300 words. 300 words. Yeah, that essay is interesting. So anything that you've not said. So what else would you like us to consider? So this is where you talk about other things that is not part of this that you want to highlight, and it's strategic. So you could put in a little bit of family history. You could put in how, because you are telling them what else would you like us to consider as we consider. So tell them what they need to know that is not part of this. So I would advise you just write about, most importantly, what I do here is you put a little bit of where you're coming from, your background, and how be able to transcend. The word is transcend. And also what you're doing to the community. So right now, I'm actually involved in different community something.
Danny,
If I'm giving this scholarship, I can amplify this. So amplify this to support more people or to give back to more people doing this, doing that. So you need to amplify that. Then this is also where you talk about how passionate. You just have to be passionate here. This is where the passion comes in. You have to be passionate about everything you've talked about. Some of the things that you remove because of the word limit in all those essays. So this is more or less like a summary of all those things that they've asked. So everything, they know you can't write everything in 200 to 300 words. So they're giving you a blank check here. So all those things, you can touch on your personal statement. You can touch on everything. Some of the things you leave out in your personal statement, for example. Some of the things you leave out in your professional community development that you are doing, but you can't mention it. You can't mention everything you are doing. Maybe you are doing too many things. You can't mention everything in 200 to 300 words. Some of the things that you think you can even add to Mastercard or when you are given the opportunities, or some of the things you've done or you intend to do. So this is where you will summarize everything and put everything into perspective and tell them that if you are considered for this scholarship, you would be put ambassador, do this, show workings, give numbers. Right now, I'm doing 200 people I'm actually helping about 100 or 50 farmers right now in my little capacity. With the help of this scholarship, I could expand the scope of this to accommodate more than 100 scholarships. Right now, for me, when I was writing, I was sponsoring about 5 students to primary schools at that point. They're orphans. I work with some orphanage and all. So I told them when I win this scholarship, I could expand that to about 50. And right now I'm doing 50 orphans that I'm sending to school. So these are the things you can do. These are the things you can talk about, like, and all these things comes into what else would you like us to know. So some of the things that you're doing, some of the things where you are coming from, just show them your personal, where you are coming, show workings, where you are coming from, where you intend to go to if you win this scholarship. Some of the things that you did not even mention there, put it there in what else would you like us to do. If you have some mental issues, some illness that you're battling or some health-related issues, tell them, like, put everything there. So that's like a blank check to you. Okay, this is write anything that you want that is going to support your application. And trust me, you need to finish work. That's just the work. That's in our local balance. You need to finish work in that question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So Munera actually asks that, can we apply to more than 2 Mastercard programs at different schools? The answer is yes. You apply to, in fact, yes, Mohammed was telling me yesterday that there's this lady that got Mastercard scholarship at University of Toronto, University of McGill, University of British Columbia.
Myself also, I'm an example. I got Mastercard.
Scholar is an example as well. In 2021, it got Commonwealth scholarship.
Even Mastercard, I got American University of Beirut, Lebanon, and I got UBC. So the only thing is, don't apply for 2 different courses in the same school. Let's say, for example, now I'm not applying for Master of Food Science. I'm also applying for Master of Forestry or Master of Food Economics. It doesn't work that way. Apply for one in one school, in another school, apply for, that is what I will advise. Don't apply for 2 in the same school, because it shows that you don't know, you are not stable. You have to be stable. You can't tell them you're a data scientist and a food scientist at the same time.
Thank you.
So you can tell one school, that you're a data scientist, you can tell one school that you're a food scientist. It doesn't matter if you have the...
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you so much, Scholar Mohammed. So do you have to show proof of the volunteering activities and leadership role we have participated in 1 minute, please?
Okay.
Can you hear me, Scholar Bello?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So do you have to show proof of the volunteering activities and leadership role we have participated in?
I don't think there is anywhere you can... I don't think you have to provide proof of that. The only thing that you can use to provide proof of that is in your essay. Like I said, you have to make sure that the only proof you can provide is the consistency of your essay. Yeah, consistency of your essay. Practically your essay. It all boils down to your essay. That is where you can actually demonstrate these things. Because if you are lying, they will know. Your essays will be disjointed. You'll be saying this, you move to this, you'll just be swaying around and all that. They will know. The people reviewing your essays are experts. So that was why we mentioned that, okay, if you're writing your essays, you need to talk about, you need to give facts, you need to give numbers, you need to give results, you need to give measurable impacts, you need to give like specifics. So that is why that is the only way they will know that, okay, this person really know what he or she is doing, and this person really, like, they'll be able to like determine what you've really done, and they'll be able to tell that, okay, this person has actually done this thing. Because if you really don't have experience, we call these essays personal essays. You are writing based on your personal experiences. So if you don't really have experiences, all these things, of course, your essays will be, it's just like, maybe if someone is lying to you, there is a way you can actually tell if someone is lying, because some people tell lie in such a way that what they are saying won't actually be consistent. And in essays like this, if you are lying, they will know. That's just it. They will have a way of knowing, because they will go through your essays from essay 1 to essay 5, and they will look for a loop, more like a loophole in your essay. And if they're able to detect that, it will actually raise questions. So the only way you can actually show evidence is through your essays, what you are writing. So if you are writing your essays, you have to make sure that you are giving them specific facts and all that. And that is why I always recommend that you send your essays out to people to like a third eye or a second eye to review for you. So the second eye will be able to tell whether this is actually consistent with what you are saying, like this is actually consistent or not. So they will tell you, like, this is what you need to address, remove this, remove that, add this, add that. So you need to, like, the only way you can actually demonstrate, you can actually show evidence is through your essays. Yeah. So make sure your essay is consistent, and make sure you give facts, you give values, you give numbers, you ascribe numbers, you ascribe like measurable impact, because your whatever you be doing might actually produce impact, but make sure that the impacts are measurable. How has it improved the life of people? Probably your projects, your personal projects. How has it improved the life of people? If it is actually tutorials like teaching people that are less academically that are not academically competent, like how has it actually improved, like help them improve their grades? So you need to like provide measurable impact, and you need to like give specifics. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's just it. There's no separate document to prove that you volunteer somewhere, but make sure that there's alignment between your essays. Don't tell stories that is not yours, because these people, like he said, these people are experts. Another thing you can do is in your reference letter, because they will ask for a reference letter. I think one of the things that I did was some volunteering work I did, or leadership role I participated in during my university days. I make sure that my recommenders, who is my supervisor in the university, actually included that in the reference she submitted for me. So don't let anybody, when you talk to your reference, let them know what you really want. Your reference letter let me just quickly talk on reference letter. You must talk about your academics, leadership, and community development, volunteering, and all that they are aware about. For example, when I was doing my NYC, I was no more in the University of Ilorin. So my supervisor in the University of Ilorin cannot include my volunteering and leadership experience in my NYC in her reference letter. So what she will include in her reference letter is leadership things or community engagement I did during my school. You can include that in the reference letter. And then maybe I have a supervisor or a leader in during my NYC who want to be my recommender. They can actually include that in the reference letter as well. So like you said, your essay must be very consistent. Then you can include that in your resume or your CV, and then your reference letter as well. All right. So Scholar Kodri, this question, he said,
to add to that, in choosing your referees, you have to be very, I think Mastercard even recommended that you choose someone that can write well about you. So if you are choosing your referee for Mastercard Foundation Scholarship, I think you need probably 2 referees. Make sure they are people you have personal relationship with. Because don't start looking for, and there is no title. There is no title, like there is no preference for any title, or there is no preference for any title. Don't say that because this person is a professor, you want to start looking for professors around to recommend you for master. If the professor will not write something well about you, please don't choose the person. So you can actually use someone that is a Mr. Mr. You can use as well as Mr. Also, it doesn't have to be doctor or professor. Like there is no preference for title or any role. You can use anyone. I think Mastercard mentioned that during our own time, they mentioned that you make use of in the application page. They recommended that you use someone that can actually say a lot about your academic potential, your leadership potential, and also your community service, your community involvement. So those are the three specific aspects that they made mention of. So make sure you actually get someone that can write a lot about you, that knows a lot about you. And even if the person does not know about you, make sure you have personal relationship with the person, because it is only when you have personal relationship with the person that you'll be able to like tell the person that this is what I want to be in my essay. But if you are using someone that you don't have personal relationship with, how will you be able to like tell the person that this is what I want to be in my essay? Like it will look like I want to help you. You are still telling me what to do.
Yeah.
So that's just it. Make sure you use someone that you have personal relationship with. So that's why I always recommend that if you are like in everywhere you find yourself, make sure you build personal relationships, especially with your lecturers. You always need them. That's just it. Don't say because you've graduated then you abandon them. No. Because you always come back to them. And your supervisor especially, make sure you build relationship with your supervisor. Especially because the only thing, Mastercard is not, you won't only get to like write need reference for Mastercard alone. There is the scholarship part and there's the admission part. Because after writing for the scholarship, you will still need reference for the admission. And the admission part is strictly academics. Yeah, that one is strictly academics. So that is, but there you're actually going to need your supervisor. And the best person to actually write a reference letter for you is your supervisor, probably in your undergraduate. Someone that has actually that's supervising your research project, because it's actually focused on academics, your academic potential for your for the admission part. And probably someone that maybe if you've had your lecturers, people that have actually taught you in a course, you can also make use of them. And you don't also have to make use of, and you can also extend it to people, like you might have engaged in research projects with other people, like with other people that are not even in your school. For instance, for me, one of my referee was not actually, I graduated from Unilearning, but one of my referee was not in Unilearning. He's not a lecturer in Unilearning. He's a lecturer in what's the name of this school? What's the name of this school in Bumosh Joseph?
Is it Lautech? Is it Lautech or Landmark?
Landmark. He's a lecturer in Landmark.
He's in Kwara State. That's in Kwara State.
Yeah, he's a lecturer in Landmark. So he was the one that recommended me, because I believe that I have personal relationship with him, and I believe that he's the best person to like recommend me for this scholarship, because I've engaged in a lot of research work with him. So I believe he's in the best position to like recommend me for the admission part, since it's actually focused on academic potential. So you need to, even at that, you still need to have some level of relationship with these people, because in our own time, there was this option that's okay, your referee can actually submit reference on your behalf. Yeah, they don't have to like give you the open letter to submit. So imagine if you don't have a personal relationship with this person. This person can actually write anything about you, something bad about you, and you won't know, because you won't get to see. The person will just submit it, on your behalf, and you won't even know what the person has written. You just say that, okay, you've been like, your application was not successful. Then you start thinking that, okay, what could be wrong? So that could actually be the problem. So make sure you use someone you have a very close relationship or intimate relationship with, so that you can tell the person that, okay, this is what I need to be in my essay.
Thank you so much, Scholar Bello. Thank you so much, because of our time. Like the summary is, you need your lecturers even after you finish school. They don't need you. I always tell people. Aside graduating with a 5.0 CGP and all that, you need people that will help you along the line. Because, let me give you an example. I know I'm very close to Scholar Kodri and Scholar Monday. They didn't submit one application. They didn't submit 2 applications. Some of them submitted more than 10 scholarship applications. Each of these scholarships will require minimum of 2 reference letters. So you can imagine asking for reference letter, 10, 20 reference letter from the same person. You must have level of relationship. Like I always tell people, it's not that I'm bragging. If I need 7 reference letters tomorrow, tomorrow in 7 hours to this time, I know people to call that they will answer me. Not because of anything, it's because of the relationship we have. So you need to reach out to your recommenders. Send message to them, maybe happy new month message. Hey, I'm doctor, mister, thank you so much for how is family. That's enough. So they don't need the help. You need their help. So you need to reach out to them. That's just the summary. We don't have time again. Scholar Quadri, this is another question here. Just in few seconds, please. Few seconds. For someone who has a graduate diploma outside Nigeria, is such an individual still eligible? Do you suggest this person drop the graduate diploma and submit this application solely on the basis of an undergraduate education?
A graduate diploma. Do you mean a postgraduate diploma? Or what do you mean by a graduate? The graduate diploma could be ND, it could be HND. It could be
HND, yeah. It could be ND.
So I think the question is not clear. So is it a postgraduate? If it is a lower degree than your BSc. For me, I included all my education something right from my ND and I have ND to have a national diploma. I included my ND and I included my BSc. So you could add them. It doesn't disqualify you in any way. Once you have good grades, then my ND was top notch. I was the best guy. I was the world best guy for my national diploma. So I couldn't really talk about it. And my BSc also was there. So you could actually highlight those things. And another thing, I just want to give you one hack to summarize. One hack. Have good relationship with your supervisors. But please, when you are writing your reference, because you have good relationship with them, I would advise that you write a summary based on the scholarship. Write a format. Write like a format, how you want the recommendation. Some professors don't have time. They really want the best for you, but they don't even know what to write. They don't have time. So just write it yourself like, sir, okay, this is, thank you so much for, after you have a relationship with them. So write those things. Write like a summary of your own reference. This is an act. Then send it to them. I'm not saying you should write your own reference. Send it to them like, okay, this is what they require and this is what I've come up with as the draft. So they can look into that and use that to develop what they want to write for you because you have a good relationship with them. So relationship with your professors is all. It could be doctor, it could be mister. And there's another question on reference. I just want to answer another question now. I've answered your question. The person is asking, do you only need your lecturers to for your reference? For the scholarship, you don't only need your professors. Your scholarship reference could be community leaders. I use an AFA. I use my imam because my imam is involved in the community. It was a community of farmers and he was a farmer. So I use him as a recommender for my scholarships. Odonguyo Central Mosque, their letterhead was part of my recommendation for the scholar. It's the truth. So it could be a church service that has, all these religious people, they have outgoing events, they have community events and what. Because I was involved with that, I helped farmers with that. I was able to use that. So I use an imam. Then I use one professional recommendation as well. People who I've worked with, I worked in GSK. So I used someone who was my manager there in GSK to talk about my professionality at work, the way I could handle things. Then I used one academic. So I used one academic, one professional, and I submitted 3 reference letters. We want to overdo. I should know. It is minimum of 2. I submitted 3 though. One academic. So I used one academic. So for the scholarship, it's not only about your education or your academic alone for the scholarship. So me, I kind of break its technique. I broke it down based on what the scholarship wanted. Academic, leadership, someone who can speak to my leadership and community, and someone who can talk to my professional and a little bit of academic and a little bit of everything. So I submitted those 3 references. But for your admission, purely academic, purely your professor.
Thank you so much. This question, what you bring to the community, is a community school UBC or Mastercard? Same thing, community is community, UBC community, Mastercard conditions community. All right, given the current focus on agriculture, forestry, data science, does this mean that someone with research interest in education or gender advocacy would be excluded? I don't understand that question, because before you apply, that means your undergraduate program actually align with the master program you're applying to. So if for example you study biochemistry or food science, you want to apply for Master of Food Science, but you have volunteering in all these areas you mentioned, gender advocacy. Of course, these are community development programs you can actually talk about. So
you could tie everything back to your program. How many female farmers do we have, for example? How many female farmers do we have, for example? So you could tie it's about writing. You could tie anything to what you want to do that is going to work.
Yeah. That's right. Thank you. Can you apply for master MCF with higher national diploma in animal production and national diploma in animal health for master degree in animal science? No, that's not possible. In Canada, for you to get admission to a master's program, you must have minimum of BSc, 3 years BSc, minimum of 3 years BSc. So HND, ND is not possible. HND you can get in probably Europe or some universities in the US. So that answers that. Okay. Do we need to talk about why we choose UBC and specific courses in any of the essay? I think Scholar Cody and Scholar Money talked about when you're talking about your professional goals. So because there are some skills you get from that program you're applying to. Like I told you, Masters of Food and Resource Economics that I did, policy. So I can talk about being a policy analyst in Ministry of Agriculture. Once I'm done, I can talk about economics part of it and food security part of it. So that is it. All right. So we still have a few other questions. Scholar, I really love you to answer these questions in less than 2 minutes, please. So I graduated with over 4.0 in agriculture. However, I currently work as a portfolio analyst in an asset management firm. I want to know if it is feasible to coin my essay around sustainable agriculture and financial management. Also, in terms of 2 recommendations letter, can I use my uncle who is currently running his MBA in Canada and my line management manager at work, or do they need to be my lecturers back in the school? Scholar Mohammed, the first question, then Scholar Kodri, the second question. I don't know if you can see the question.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Do you want me to read it again?
Oh, of course. And what is the person intending to apply to what program?
Maybe relating to agriculture, or maybe food and resource
economics. That should be food and resource economics.
Or forestry or something, yeah.
Yeah. The person you can. The thing is, most of these programs are actually professional programs. They are accelerated professional programs. So I believe you can. And yeah, let me just give examples, like practical examples. I know someone that actually studied economics that is currently enrolled in data science at UBC. Mm-hmm. I also know someone that actually studied estate management in undergraduates that is currently enrolled in, I think, a forestry program. The person is actually one of the Mastercard scholars. I also, in my program, I know people that actually, I'm talking about the international students now, not necessarily Mastercard scholars. But for the first ones I mentioned, they are Mastercard scholars. People enrolled in probably economics, and they are currently studying data science, and we have people, estate management, that is currently studying a forestry program. Then for my program, like the international student, I'm talking about the whites now, people that studied food and nutrition, and they are in food and resource economics now. You want to ask that, what are they doing there? But it's a professional program, and they believe that, okay, once you have a bachelor's program that is closely related to the program, and you've probably had some level of professional experience, like professional exposure to what this program is all about, you can actually apply for this program. So you are good to go. Yeah.
Thank you, Scholar Kodri.
Yeah,
in terms of 2 recommendations, right? Can you use your uncle as recommenders? Your uncle is doing MBA in Canada.
I would advise you don't use any family member for a recommendation. It's not professional at all. It's like using your wife or your dad or as a recommendation. No. So your line manager, yes, you can use your line manager. If like I said, for the scholarship, you can use professional, use academic, and use community. You can use your pastor. If you have an outreach drive, I'm telling you, I use the mom.
You're right.
So it's not something like they've not done it before. Me, my recommendation is there. That's what I use with the letterhead. So you can use your pastor. Are you telling me that you don't have a pastor at home, or you don't have outreach that you could be an outreach that you're involved in? The owner of those outreach could provide recommendations as a community development. So for that is for the scholarship, but for the admission into UBC, it has to be strictly academic. And like Scholar Bello said, Scholar Mohammed said, you can see, I have someone who studied just nutrition, and that person is doing Master of Food Science. You see people who do biochemistry, studying public health, or probably even doing data science. It's just your experience. It will be your only, that is why it's not focused on only academic. Your experience as well. Like you could have done something, you're a graduate, but you have 5 years experience. And Mastercard has about 35 years. The minimum age you can apply for the scholarship is 35 years and below. So let's say you finish university by 23. You could have amassed the 10 years experience. You are still 33, right? You could have amassed the 10 years experience in something else. So which qualifies you for the scholarship? So that answers the question. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Scholar. Yeah, for me, for my reference, I used my supervisor in school. I used my supervisor during my NYC at Kwara State University, and I used my secondary school teacher.
Secondary school teacher.
So it practically, he didn't know anything about my academic excellence in the university, but he can still remember and talk about things I've done before I gained admission to the university. So please, someone that's like Scholar Mohammed and Scholar Kodri said, some people you have relationship with that knows about you. That's very important. So Scholar Bello, can I attach a link to my Google Drive portfolio showing receipts of many things I've been doing?
You can actually attach that. You can put that in your CV. Yeah. I think the only place you can actually do that is in your CV. So you should be able to attach a link to your CV. Yeah. So it will probably be at the volunteering and research. Sorry, volunteering and community service experience under that section, because your CV actually has different sections. You have your education, you have your professional experience, you have your professional certifications and others. You have many other, then there is volunteering and community services, leadership experience. So you can actually attach a Google Drive link to that to show evidence.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, for your CV, you can do that if you really want, but your essay, please don't include any link to your essay. Show work and give number. Scholar Emmanuel. Thank you for that. All right. For research work for MSc, I know there's a research master's. That's Masters of Science in Forestry. For research work for MSc, must I secure an advisor?
No, you don't need it for the scholarship. No.
You don't need it, because this is you applying for next year. This is you applying for next year program. You don't need to contact the supervisor. But please, you can still go to the program website to read more on that. You don't need that. All right. So, what is the fate of a person with a previous master's degree? If you have a previous master's degree, don't tell them you have it, because one of the eligibility criteria is you don't have a previous master's degree. If you have it, keep it to yourself. Don't include it in your application. If you include it, disqualify yourself. All right. Can one use the same application essays for different Mastercard Foundation scholarship partners institution? Just want to answer that. It's straightforward, because different universities have essays that are the same, that are similar, and some are not the same. Like few of these new essays that the UBC is asking, same thing, and McGill asks similar question. So you can actually do that. They have different reviewing committee, different people, different selection committee. So you can use that if the essay. So don't your community development program for UBC, you can use that in McGill or any other universities. All right. Please, can you briefly talk on building a strong CV, which I believe will be another crucial part of our application? Scholar Kodri and Scholar Mohammed, 1 minute, please. I've seen your CV, both of you. It's really comprehensive. So I want you to talk about it just for 1 minute, please.
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can build a strong CV. So CV depends. You have academic CV. For me, I have different CV. So I have academic CV, and I have scholarship CV. Scholarship CV has my academics, my awards, my leadership, my community goals, and whatever. Everything is there for the scholarship CV. So it depends on what you want to use it for. You can't use one CV for everything you want to do. That is why it is called resume. You have to be editing and re-editing. If you're applying for a school, just academic, you shouldn't be adding unnecessary things. You should basically be on research, publications, your GPs, your goals, and whatever, or your things that you've done. You could add a little bit of teaching assistants or research assistant things that you have in terms of your job options. But if you are going for scholarship, you could add your professional in terms of the jobs that you've done. You could add all these still academic publications, all this teaching. You could add everything, because the scholarship, you want them to see the whole package of whatever you've done, be it professionally, personally, or in community and development and leadership. So you shouldn't have just one CV for everything. Have lots of CVs, in short. Thank you. Scholar Bello, please add to that.
Yeah, I believe he has actually said everything. Well, yeah, there are different CV for different occasions. So you have the professional CV, you have the academic CV, and yeah, there are even jobs that are actually academics and they still. So you just need to make sure that your CV actually aligns with whatever you are putting in your CV aligns with what you are applying for. You can't be applying for food science and you'll be putting something that is related to probably something that is not related to food science at all, and you're putting it in your CV. No. So you just make sure that whatever you're putting in your CV aligns with what you're applying for, the position you're applying for. So that's what I need to add to what.
Yeah, just one more thing to add, please. They mentioned it earlier, and I can't stress it anymore. You have to show link. There should be, if you are writing something in your essay, they are going to look at your CV, look at the timeline in your CV, to be sure that all those things that you are writing actually mean. This is where they find the loophole. So if you are writing anything in your essay, you did this during your NYSC, or you graduated, you did this, they will look at the timeline and look at your CV if those things are actually captured in there. And there should be a link between all your essays. It should be consistent, your number one, and even to your recommendations, they will find links. So if somebody that is recommending for you is Dr. Lagbaja or a community development, they will look at, okay, this person is writing your recommendation that you did this community service or something. Is there anywhere in your essay that you mentioned it? Show link, show workings, like I always say. So show those links. There should be link to everything. From your CV to your essays to your recommendations, everything has to be from aligned. There should be linked. And it should be consistent all through. The timeline should not change. You shouldn't tell me you are doing something in 2014, but in your essay it is 2012. In your CV it is 2008. In your transcript it's showing something else. So those are things. Everything has to align. I have to put that in.
Speaking of link, someone asked if you can actually apply, regardless of having whether or not you've had a prior master's program. Speaking of link, yeah. If the person has a LinkedIn page and it's written there that okay, the person included that he or she has completed a master's degree, the person should better go and remove it. Because for Mastercard, they actually stated it there that it's for economically disadvantaged and you probably don't have the resources to enroll in a master's degree in your home country. Yeah, your home country. If you have resources to enroll in master's degree in your home country, they won't even consider you. Because that's one of the requirements. Not to even say that, okay, probably you've had a prior master's program. So if you have it in your LinkedIn and you intend to apply for Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, please go and remove it from there. Because they are going to check everything. They will check your application. You don't know the extent of, they will do research. If they are reviewing your packages, they will do their own research, their background research. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I think you answered the next question, which is, do they do background check on you before awarding your scholarship? LinkedIn, Facebook, anything like that?
If you don't want them to do background check, don't put any link on your, or don't put any LinkedIn something on your CV. They will even search for your name on LinkedIn.
Don't implicate yourself. And also, people. So those of you, I know so many people, because of politics and all that, since you post on your Facebook and your LinkedIn and Twitter, be very careful. Don't implicate yourself.
Don't be a sexist, don't be a misogynist, don't be anything. Speaking about women, they are bad. Be very careful. All these Twitter angels and Twitter devils, you are the one damaging all the females. You are the one saying men have come. You are the one abusing gay and lesbian. And you are showing that you are diverse. You're showing that you want to come to UBC to enter the diversity pool and be among them. How does it work? And your statement is one thing. What you are saying is yours. So all those things, please.
Thank you. We have 30 more minutes. Can I make use of an academic reference, a lecturer who taught me but is no longer a member of the institution in Ilorin, like he is outside the country now? Yeah, if there's there must be a letterhead. For sure, you can use the person. don't forget the person must have letterhead. That's the only way to support that this is original reference letter. You must have a letterhead, must be able to sign. If there's a stamp, go ahead. If there's no stamp, there's no problem. But letterhead is very important. You can use the person. All right. I graduated with over this, although I couldn't make. Okay. However, I currently work as a portfolio. I think we talked about this already. All right. With the space. It has been with the specificity in their programs. Can I apply for the Mastercard scholarship as an aquaculture graduate? For sure, aquaculture graduates can work. You can apply for the land and water.
You can apply for land and water. You can apply for MFS.
Food science as well. For sure. For sure.
You can even apply for forestry.
Forestry is very possible. Like very possible.
Apply for forestry.
Yes. If I upload the reference letter in my application, do they eventually reach out to the referees? There are two ways. You can include your reference letter when submitting your application, or you can tell your recommenders to send the reference letter straight. I'm pretty sure that during my time I included it in my application.
Yeah,
I know that Mohammed, one of Mohammed recommenders sent send the letter straight to Mastercard. So it depends on because some lecturers may not want you to see the letter they want to submit for you. It's very possible because of strict policy and all that. It's very possible. People are different. That's why I say you should have relationship with them. But regardless of having a relationship with them, some of them can choose to send directly to Mastercard. So yeah, that's depend on your lecturer. Does this recommenders ask to be a lecturer? We said that already. We answered the question already. It's not necessary. To be honest, lectures in Ghana now don't even write normal recommend. Okay, lecturers in Ghana. I mean, for abroad school application, applicants have struggled and sometimes don't even get it done, especially Ghanaian lecturer. Yeah,
write it yourself.
You can actually write it yourself. If there's no time, send a draft to them. To them. I know you are busy. In your email, be like, let them know that you understand that they don't have time. Yes, I know you don't have time, but this is like a draft that you can use for my application. I know you are very busy, and give them time. If you need something tomorrow, don't send it today. I know so many. Like I always tell people, you can reach out to them in 3-4 months before the application. In January, I will need recommendations, sir. Just want to inform you ahead. When this is you mean 2 months. In 2 months' time, I will need it. Send like a reminder to them. Don't just hijack them and say, I need something tomorrow. Most of them will not answer you. Yeah, that's the best way to go about it. I'm a graduate of chemistry from Michael Okpara University of Agriculture with CGPA of 4.82. Okay, I'm applying for food science. Are there tips that I can use to stand out? We've already talked about that. I'm sorry. All right. So is it possible to update your application with additional information? Scholar Quadri.
Yeah, is it possible to update your application with there's a place in the essay that talks about what else do we want to do. So that is a place for you to write every other thing that you cannot write. And also the application package itself, there's a place that they will tell you if you have additional something hard. I don't know right now that they are going to Qualtrics or what is it? They're using online. I don't know if there's that place. But we did combining. For example, let's say I'm sponsoring 10 people. The application package has only spaces for like 3 people. They will tell you can add more Word documents. You can attach more just to show the other people that you're supporting in terms of community. So there are always ways you can add more to your application. But the most important is your whole application package, your essays, recommendation letter, your resume, your personal statement. All these things just have to be good enough. So yeah, if you add substance to those things, you stand up.
Thanks for this.
To mention one important point.
Okay.
Please stop using GPT to generate ideas.
You will fail you. GPT, bro.
Yeah. I'll be reviewing surveys, and the first thing I just do is I will just copy the question and paste it on GPT to see what GPT will generate. And once I see that your essay is the same thing with what GPT is generating, I'll just trash the essay. And
Please
that's what
don't do that.
Schools here frown at using AI for
AI.
your document.
If
They
you have access,
they
if you have
hate
access
it.
to AI, your reviewer also have access to AI.
Access
Even
to
have
AI.
access
For sure.
to better technology. So if you say you are putting everything, they will also put it there and see. And if your idea is similar to what AI is generating, put it low, put it top.
That's right.
They will just
Please, is there any hope for me with 2.1 of 3.8? We already talked about CGPA. You want to watch and see these videos, this section again. I know they are recording it currently. Yeah. There is should the recommendation letter be typed or written? Typed for sure. Typed. Convert to PDF. Yeah, typed. Convert to PDF. 18/10AC 0789. That's Faculty of Agriculture. Thank you. Yeah. So after applying for scholarship on Mastercard website, are we to apply separately to UBC website? That is very certain. You submit your application to UBC and to Mastercard. Then after that, they will inform you to go ahead with your university application to your various programs. Then that is where you will use your application fee code. So when you submit your application, reach out to them and say, I've submitted my application. I need application fee waiver. So you have to ask them specifically. So they will send an application fee waiver to you. Then you can use that to apply. Because I'm pretty sure that October ending is the deadline for Mastercard application. Yeah, deadline. Then for the university, that's around January. So you can from November to January, you can submit your application to UBC. Yeah, so that's a separate application. Take one or two more questions before we go. I think that will be hard. Just select it randomly. For someone who has a postgraduate diploma outside Nigeria, we already talked about that. Can secondary school teacher be used as academic referee? I think I need to clear the here. Can the secondary school teacher be used as an academic referee for a school, not for scholarship? Use your lecturer. That's very important because bachelors applying for master's program. So I would advise that you use your lecturer for school application. For school application, like they said, is strictly academic. And I said that I used my secondary school teacher then. He was my secondary school teacher, but he later went for his master's, then his PhD, then a lecturer in zoology department. So it has nothing to do with my academic journey in the university, but he made reference to my time in high school. So that's why I actually used them. Like we said, someone you have relationship with and can talk about you, can say a few things about you. Can my academic referee from the university be someone from the department other than the department I graduated from? Yes or no, Scholar Quadri?
That is an interesting thing, no? Academic. If it's for academic, I would say from someone from your department. That person you have to say, I teach you got A's in this course. Stick to whatever they are. Because it is academic, because someone who you were in class with, who was a lecturer, someone who taught you. But just someone who taught you one course, but who can speak to your academic. You want someone who can speak to your academic sagacity. So someone in another department, I don't know, how did you borrow course from that department? Did that person taught you? That's the question that you don't know. You know, some people are in another department that you borrow courses from them and they taught you one or two courses. You can use that kind of person. But someone who you have not been to his or her class before, who hasn't taught you anything, I wouldn't advise that. But if someone has taught you, it could not be from your department, it could be from another department, like someone you borrowed 2 or 3 courses from your 100 to 400 level, that person can write about you. Okay, I was a lecturer for him for 5 years, and because the recommendation is like, I've known him for 5 years, the lecturers, he did these courses with me and he graduated, he did this, he was a very good student, brilliant, he had A's in all my courses and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. The last question here, how do we apply for application waiver? Are we to wait for Mastercard response before requesting? No, you request for application waiver, immediately submit your application. When we use the form type, when you're submitting your application, you include that you need application fee waiver because you are not able to afford the application fee. So, but now that is a form, it is a survey format that they are using. I'm pretty sure there should be a spot where they will ask if you need application fee waiver. But if there's no a spot, after immediately you go to Mastercard and ask them for application fee waiver. Yeah, we have 3 more minutes. I want to appreciate Scholar Quadri and Scholar Mohammed. If you have any other question, please send it to the group chat, like in the Unilearning International Scholarship Forum page. We answer that. We answer your question. So Scholar Quadri and Scholar Monday, in 1 minute. Any last thing you want to
Yeah, it's so nice. It's so nice meeting all of you, and I wish everyone the best of luck. Please, Mastercard scholarship, apply for everything. Don't only UBC, Toronto, anything you can apply for. Just and if you have a strong enough application, if your application is tight enough, you can use it for multiple scholars. See, if you have a winning essay, you will definitely win one thing. It is sure. My just one essay that I use it applied material, and I got about 5 scholarships that same year. 2 Mastercard, 1 Commonwealth shared, 1 Commonwealth, 1 Queen Elizabeth. Like I was just winning all through because at that year I cracked the code. So if you crack the code for that essay, you can use it multiple platforms. It doesn't even matter. It's not even Mastercard now. Commonwealth, so Erasmus, so you will win because if you crack the code and you have a very good solid base. So yeah, I wish everyone the best of luck. And please, if you have written your essay, send it out to people. You have so many scholars out there, Mastercard scholars. Send them out, let them help you review it, and give them time to review it. Don't think you are the only one sending it to them. Some scholars are having thousands, hundreds of messages of essays that they are reviewing. So give them time to reach out to get back to you. And yeah, wish everybody the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scholar Bilo.
So yeah, everyone actually has a spot. Yeah, you have a spot, and yeah, the scholarship is actually very competitive, especially now that it's gaining awareness and all that. And you should also know that I think this is an insider info. UBC Mastercard is hoping to award 40 scholarships for the coming session. Yeah. So I believe everyone has a shot. So and I wish you all the best in your application. Yeah.
40 is much. You let Unilorin carry 5 at the 10.
Yeah, if you can carry 10, because I'm the only Unilorin presently in my cohorts. It's full-time.
It is true. Our own cohort was. I know why it is that. I think our cohort we kind of break records. I think we're like 5 Unilorites or 6. Myself, you, Huda. Even for my Greek, from faculty of Greek, we are 3. Then from other department, we have a civil engineer, someone who did data, but he did civil. He was a scholar. Then we are like 5 from Unilorin doing my sector. So we broke records. So they are looking at Unilorin and you guys are too much. I guess that was why they gave 1. Because we have so many qualified people, like Olalere, he should have entered the Master of Food Science, I don't know, but he got into my guild. So we have so many other brilliant essay writers that they just like, I believe they were just looking at Unilorin too much. But don't worry, we'll shock them next coming section too. Hopefully we get 10. And we are counting on you guys, 20. Please make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Scholar Kodri and Scholar Bilo. I know you have a lot of things you're supposed to do, but yeah, thank you so much. And I want to appreciate in the Unilorin International Scholarship Forum for organizing this. Scholar Ifada, I can see you, Scholar Emmanuel, Scholar Olani and Yusuf, and every one of you leading this platform. It's really like, the truth is, some of us that, I want to be very sincere, some of us have not been really into this, but you've even with your busy schedule, you are always at the forefront organizing programs and seeing that people are going. I'm pretty sure that someday all this thing will come back to you. That's very certain. Thank you so much for organizing this. I really appreciate every one of you for joining. It's 1 p.m. here, and I'm pretty sure it's around 8 p.m. in Nigeria. Scholar Kodri is 10. I know he's 12 noon on your side, right? Yeah. So I know people in the US, from Ghana, from UK. Thank you all for joining, and I wish you all the best in your applications. You see, you only need a single yes. If you apply for 20 scholarship and then it's not coming, continue to apply. Once you got that yes, it will change the story around. I wish you all the very best. Take care of yourself. Bye.
And please reach out to Scholar Ife for your review.
The chief scholar, I can't agree more. Thank you.